He's a Karachi veteran. We're glad to have him back. The co-founder of Ghar Records. Give it up for Rudoh!
Definitely one of my favorite sets.
I was a little nervous at around this time because I loved this song, and then everyone started cheering, and I was like, yes, give me good feedback, thank you. Tell me your take on nightlife in Karachi.
Nightlife in Karachi, it's technically non-existent. End of the day, you're only seeing people in marketplaces or at malls, but there's no real interaction happening outside of work. Like, Pakistan is the only place where you usually have to build the entire venue to throw an event. So just the effort that goes into just doing that is so much that you don't get to see a lot of events happening.
Being in a third world country, it affects what we can do and what we can't do. There's a lot of talent, there's a lot of musicians, but then there's not many places you could just go in as an artist and play and come out. There's a lot of work to be done in these places.
It's hard to keep yourself motivated throwing these events here because of all these other factors you have to take into account, which makes things a lot harder.
It's a lot of khwari. I don't know what khwari means in English. Effort. Bad effort.
मैं तो कहूँगा पीछे वाली जगह खराब एक तो हमें हीटर चाहिए. As it does time, we thought कि मतलब जब elevation ऊपर जाएगी ना, and the first frame that we get, people will be at different heights.
First of all, we have to get these permissions to host these events so that the police is aware of it, the government is aware of it, because we have laws in place against groups of 10 or 20 people coming together or more than that. And we have no venues with their own backline. So that means having to rent sound from somewhere. Most of these places also won't have their own lights, so that means having to rent lights from somewhere.
Booth on. Booth is fine.
Then comes the day of the event. We actually literally have to engineer the audio for the entire space, tune the venue, and we also have to rent a generator because of power cuts. So there's that added cost as well. And for the most part, we just keep breaking even. If not, we go into a loss. It's about the future going forward to at least put a scene in place where artists don't have to go through the same kind of bullshit that we had gone through. Back in the early 2000s, there's a mainstream market and then there was us. Toll Crane and myself had a band called Orange Noise together, and then there was Mole. Mole had that electronic music side to them. Orange Noise had more of the psychedelic shoegaze side to them. So every week we just get together and give each other feedback. And that's how we started producing music.
Your parents can't brag about you being a beat maker or producer,
Yeah, or unless you're
unless it's a mehndi, then it all goes, bro, if it's a mehndi.
Yeah, I mean, we also played a few school gigs back in the day. You know?
Really awkward ones.
Yeah, they were bad, but I mean, that was the start,
The first time I ever saw a digital mixer, I was like, wow, this thing's so cool. And it was there was one channel that worked, and then the computer inside of it would crash after a while. I think that for me was the fun of it, right? I was like, okay, how the hell do we make this happen?
Yeah, that stuff used to come from junkyards from Singapore, Japan, Korea, just end up in Pakistan to just be thrown away.
So slowly we start to integrate other instruments. And then it got electronic with a lot of synths and laptops connected.
The first things that we recorded, we like aggregated like 3 audio devices together.
Like we're just in a room for hours making music.
So it went from like having bands and throwing on gigs with like live concerts to then having spaces for electronic music. And that collective sense came from there. I think it just really came down to making music and we had nothing better to do. That's basically how we all socialized. Because like apart from chai or eating food, there is nothing.
चाय मंगा ली है?
हाँ, कोई 10-15 मिनट पहले आ रहा ही नहीं है। टिकट सेल्स कैसी चल रही है?
नहीं थोड़ा स्लो है ऑब्वियसली क्योंकि अभी वीकेंड है इधर वो भी होता है ना लाइक जैसे लोग अगर लाइक इफ यू गेट टोल्ड इट्स अ पार्टी देन पीपल इफ यू गेट कॉल देम एट 9 दे कम एट 11:30
यार मुझे ये लोग समझ नहीं आया अगर पार्टी है तो भाई जल्दी
नहीं
जाओ
लेकिन
जल्दी पार्टी करो
हमारी पार्टी पे लास्ट टाइम कुछ लोग थे जिनको मैक्सिमम यूटिलाइजेशन करनी थी टाइम की ठीक है ब्रो 9:30 30-40 पीपल वर देयर like
एक और इवेंट पे जाना था यार
नहीं they were there till like they were like भाई हमें पूरा टाइम यूज करना है 9 to 5 ठीक है
यार बॉस को बोल दो ये फेंक लो
कौन सिगरेट से चाहिए कुछ नहीं बॉस थैंक यू
ये दोनों उसको बोल दो फेंक लो
एक सेकंड इसको मैं इधर रख दूं
ओ चले गया
वो बोलना that Karachi used to be the Paris of Asia originally, and then things changed when the political powers changed. There were women wearing skirts and everything in the 60s. There were nightclubs, there were casinos. It's all because of one presidential change. Everything and Islamization.
I don't know if you want to get into that.
Yeah, that gets so full
vibe,
politics.
like the political, you know.
But it's actually the reason.
I'd like to steer clear of that, I think.
Yeah. But it is the hard truth. Anyone whose parents lived in Karachi in the 50s, 60s, they'll tell you that. It was a very different place.
The stuff that our parents experienced was a far more different Karachi than we'd ever experienced.
You know, there used to be big beach raves and they used to like put on the decks on top of like containers and like hundreds and thousands of people would be dancing.
There were bars, there were clubs, there were discotheques, and now none of that exists. Prohibition and all of these things changed a lot of things. And so the mentality changed entirely.
Especially when Zia al-Haq came in, like there was a lot of music that was banned and there was a lot of music videos that were banned. And I think music is always a bit political.
There's like this weird moral gray area in Pakistan, you know, and that's basically what makes it like this difficult ecosystem to survive in as a musician.
It's also just like an East versus West thing, right? Like just how socially acceptable it is. And I think that if you put like a Kaval thing on like some techno music,
then it's accepted.
Yeah, people are more likely to accept it. But if you like play some like raging techno, they'll be like, oh, this is music for people to get fucked up to or whatever, or you know, do haram things to.
People have preconceived ideas about what electronic music is, which is why when we managed to get Boiler Room to Karachi, I wanted to like make sure that we were capturing as many niche sort of artists from every angle of the music industry in Pakistan, which is why we had like Ustad Noor Bakhsh, Joby, Natasha Noorani, Natasha Ijaz. And then we had these DJ sets.
Actually, let me show you something else. So this is Noor. So Noor was there at Boiler Room. Her set like crossed like 500,000 views, and it was
crazy.
When Danny P reached out to me and they're like, oh, do you want to do a set? And I was like, yeah, of course. Bringing Boiler Room here, that was like unheard of. And that was the first time in Karachi where I have felt an energy like that. Like it was chaos, but like good chaos.
So it was a very different kind of ballroom, I think. Like there is history, there is culture, and then there is new history. Like we're making new history right now. And hopefully another 20 years from now, maybe people will talk about what we did.
One of the main reasons why I do this is for my friends. They've been really supportive, and they're kind of the reason why, you know, this is so much fun, I'd say.
There's a very primal feeling to drums being played, controlling a certain group of masses that coincides with both our cultural history and dance music.
Yeah, definitely. Like dance music is less about these decisions like chords and scales and everything as much as it is about people getting together and movement and people dancing and having a good time.
Karachi in general, or even Pakistan, you would say it has cycles. Like there was a scene when, like, you know, a lot of people like partying just like right now. And it ended because some bad shit happened, some political instability. And now, again, that cycle has started. But I wouldn't say like, oh, we're gonna repeat that cycle. Because I don't think we're in that age or time anymore.
It's about how do we get our people now across borders for other people to experience what we're doing. We want the world to know we exist with them on a global level and we deserve access to it.
What's up, bro? Hey, you don't care.